Hello and welcome to Tell Me in Wrestling, the global podcast that uses ignorance and humour to fill the gaps between everyday life and professional wrestling. This week we are going to be looking at the big news stories from the wrestling world.
Ooh.
I'm Phil, your chronically ignorant and chronically ill version of Hugh Edwards, and I'm here with my co-anchors, Carl.
Hello.
And over at the sports desk, it's Dan.
Howdy doody.
How are we? We've been away.
We have been away, yes.
We have been. I've been too busy driving round roundabouts.
Right.
Oh, did you get stuck on a roundabout?
I
Is
stuck
that
on a
why?
roundabout for the last 3 weeks.
That's where we've been circling forever.
Circling, just couldn't exit. So that's where we've been. Every time there's been a text message, I'm like, I can't answer my phone. It's illegal on the road. I'm stuck on a roundabout.
I actually had the pleasure of Dan visiting me. He gave me the honour of being his first motorway journey to get to my house the other day for a little coffee, didn't you?
How did that go?
I saw him reverse park, mate.
Did you?
He did.
Wow.
He was stood there at his window, and then he came out and
Judging him.
stood there, arms folded, like a proud father, going,
Yeah.
Good
lad.
Who's
Good lad,
parking
son.
that lad?
I gave you what my dad used to do to me. He used to go, when I used to help him out with work and stuff, he used to go, "You've not done a bad job there. You've not done a good job, but you've not done a bad one either."
I'm not going to criticise you, but
Yeah.
neither is praise going to happen.
If you want a compliment, you can go fuck yourself because you're going to have this backhanded moment. How are we both? You all right? Phil looks like he's wearing a bra gun holster
I
today.
don't know what it is. It looks like it's a.
It looks like he's going
a
to John
rucksack.
McClane at any
It's
moment.
a rucksack, but then like there's a. There's a
Do you know what
headband
that
going on
rucksack
as
is full of? Emotional baggage.
well.
I wear it on my back very well, the baggage. This is a, I think the correct name for it is like a posture aligner. I
Just slouch like the
just-
fucking rest of us, will you?
God, no.
Jesus Christ.
It is. I'm having one of those days where slouching is.
You don't give a
fucking-
fuck. You just wanna-
Just fucking painful. We're recording this on a Thursday, and I normally go and have a massage every Thursday to help alleviate the pain and get rid of my the lactic acid buildup that so kindly builds up all over my body. Oh,
Is that what we're calling a happy ending nowadays?
lactic acid buildup.
Yeah, so I now have not only is the pain not going to go from this week, but I've now got another week of pain to look forward to before I can go next week. So that's going on.
A massage for a lactic acid buildup sounds like they somehow massage milk out of your nipples.
Yeah.
Is that what
It's
happens?
Yeah, that's very much what happens. I come back and I come back and I'm fine everywhere else, but I'm sore right here. That's why I'm wearing something that resembles a brassiere
Exactly, yeah.
to
Yeah,
keep
he's
my
got a
very
proper-
sore.
Because they're sagging because they
My
haven't
little
been milked
titties.
for a
The
week.
old udders.
It's like a mourning cow when they haven't been milked for a week. They're she's in pain.
There's just someone just underneath the bed with a bucket just to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we
dearie me.
grubbied this up very quickly, didn't
That
we?
was didn't take long.
Hey, listen, mate. I grubbied it up, all right? Don't you be taking credit for that.
and,
Can I just say something? Go
yeah,
on.
of course. No, go on.
I sometimes if something happens and we've not recorded for a while, I just write notes about this section of the podcast, like little life updates and stuff. And I went to Spain with work, back to my old stomping grounds recently, and I was in the airport and I paid £6.40 for a pint of lager.
just another.
That's it. I just had to put it
Who
out
was
there.
it who complained about paying £30 for? Well, allegedly paying £30 for sausage rolls in a train station.
Oh,
think
that
it
was
was a Tory MP.
Michael Gove's wife.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Sarah Vine.
She can go fuck herself. I don't
She
give a
lied.
shit
I
what
mean, she
says
made it up.
about
It was bullshit.
anything.
She was like, cost of living crisis, and I'm paying £30 for sausage rolls. It's like, well, I mean, number one, it's a lie, but number two, if it's true, you're a fucking mug. Greg's his round corner.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Get a steak bacon. Shut the fuck up, will you?
So yeah, £6.20 for a. Was that in a British airport or a Spanish airport?
It was East Midlands Airport.
East Midlands Airport as well. They should know
And
their,
it gets worse. The pub in the airport is a local brewery. So I
Was it-
got the local lager, thinking that'll be
see,
cheap.
that's it.
It's it's £3 whatever in my local version of this brewery. £6.40. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Airport
It's
tax.
once you cross that barrier in an airport, and they're just like,
Unbelievable. £6.40
well, everything
for
is
a
now
pint of beer.
50% more expensive.
Yeah.
£6.40. I nearly spat in the woman's fucking face.
Cool. That's okay.
It's not their fault.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it.
You didn't want to do a double take.
Yeah, I had one of those moments where I was like, "You fuck it!" Oh, yeah.
You couldn't do a spit take because that's £3 for a spit take.
Yeah,
It's so expensive.
Should have collected my spit and sold it at triple the price.
So aside from being scammed for pints in airports, you all good?
Yeah. Although, can I just say, my partner is currently away. She's working abroad, and
vague as anything.
Yeah, I know.
Is she a spy? Is this
She's
what
a
she
spy,
tells
yeah.
you when she's going off to work for MI5?
Well, I think she is a spy, mate, because
Okay.
this is spy work right now. I went out earlier, got myself. She's away. I eat like a fucking student, and I drink beer during the week when she's away. When I'm not allowed to do it when she's here.
Can I just say that if at any point we have to cut bits out of this podcast, it's because we've accidentally given away state secrets.
Exactly.
We're like that little lad.
If the stories don't make sense.
But the reason I don't want to say it is because I came home from the shop with my tea, which was a oven pizza, and I was holding it under my arm quite proudly as I walked home with a beer under the other. And she just messaged me saying, "How's your pizza?"
Has she got you on the old?
She's a bloody spy, doorbell. Is what she is. But yeah, she got me on the fucking Ring doorbell, hasn't she?
Oh, it wasn't like a man at the corner of the street with a newspaper.
Who knows?
Just feeding your information. Goes. He spent 15 minutes going to the local cost cutter.
Yeah,
he bought a margarita pizza.
I thought you were going to say she knows you so well that she just knew exactly what time you were going to eat and what you were going to be having.
I don't know. Maybe there's some of that going on. I'm not sure, but it's got me a bit paranoid now. I'm not going to be able to have a crafty wank tonight, am I? If she's watching.
You just need to make sure the reflection doesn't come out of the window down into the car and back onto the Ring doorbell. I get that with we've got a joint account on the Monzo, and I was in London on Tuesday. I was just there and back in a day, and I swung by the Greggs to grab a sandwich before I got my train back, and I just got a text message off my wife saying "Greggs?" ? And I'm like, judging me.
It's terrible. This modern world, we need to
no secrets.
Yeah.
She was like, OnlyFans? ? I'm like, no, wrong account.
Do you want to talk about do you want a poem?
Should we do some wrestling?
Have we done? Have we got any more? Have we got any more on that intro?
Oh well, I've been having to reapply for my disability stuff, which has been
pain in the
that's been stressful and has taken quite a lot out of me. The highlight was one of the questions because I've applied before. It's basically, has anything changed? Has anything got better? Has anything got worse? And one of the questions I was like, the answer was, no, nothing has changed. However, you completely disregarded what I said the last time. So actually, I'm just going to say the same stuff again. Either take it or leave it. And I was told to, as like a bit of evidence, to consider keeping like a little diary, just to be like, oh, this is the kind of stuff that I have to do every day, and like how complicated it is to manage my symptoms. And I don't know, I must have maybe made like 50, 60 entries in one day, and it was just progressively everything just getting worse and worse and worse, because I was on the PlayStation for like 45 minutes, and that just completely ruined my adrenaline, and it made the entire day just go progressively downhill until I managed to get a handle on it like 8 hours later. I was like, oh well, if this isn't going to be sufficient proof of what I go through, I don't really know what else is. I had reports written by different health practitioners and stuff, and just the whole process is fucking brutal and really takes it out of you. I've not been particularly well. I had another thing going on that in the background that also was affecting my health that I've told you two about. That was just I can't really do too much about it, but it was pretty absurd.
The thing about your nipples needing
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be excreted.
yeah. That was it.
that's
Yeah,
something like
and they were just getting very. I needed someone to do it for me.
VFN, very full nipples.
Yeah.
One of the things about this is surely it doesn't pay to say that you've got better. It's like if you have legitimately got better since the last time you applied for PIP, if you say yes, then as hard as it was for you to get
there's no
the
more
last
money.
time, there's no money, is there? Like,
Yeah, but if you've genuinely got better, then you're going to be earning more money.
Then chances are you're going to be well enough to be.
But what do they
back
constitute
at work.
as well enough?
Oh, who fucking
to
knows?
stop?
It's absolutely terrifying. The amount of work that I'm having to do, that I've had to do, to essentially let a person that I have no knowledge of, if they know anything about what I have, to make a life-changing decision, based on what they interpret off what we've written, and they could do
you
whatever
100%
they want,
know as well that they're not reading that. They're going like, okay, in one pile, and then like denied in another pile, just willy nilly.
Yeah, well, that's
and then you have
that's
to
the
appeal.
fear. The Department of Work and Pensions has proven themselves to be a giant clusterfuck of ineptitude with how they've managed to send stuff out ridiculously.
So do they produce this podcast?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having to go through. I don't even know who's in charge of it at the minute. We just have so much fucking change in this country. It's hard to keep on top of it all. We're more consistent than
that is saying something.
Government at the minute. And
yeah, we'll try and keep a more regularly scheduled program for.
Speaking of
a week or so,
consistency, Carl with his consistent consistent poems. I mean, we haven't recorded for a while, but
do you remember what the subject you gave me was?
I genuinely think that long.
Oh, I wrote this poem weeks ago, and
I remember it was the whatever we said. There was the roundabouts shit, the move that somebody did.
The Cesaro swing.
The Cesaro swing, yeah. Because we decided because we're so fucking funny, we thought we'd just keep the joke going even longer than necessary. Just really drag it out, and help the listener base grow.
Luckily, this has no roundabout mentions, but it's very much on brand in terms of circular motions, I'd say. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Round and round you go as Cesaro grabs you by the toe. Your tummy hurts, it starts to ache. In catering, you ate too much cake. Round and round you go. Like Stretch Armstrong, you start to grow. Your limbs expand. Is this it? Your jelly arms tap to submit. Round and round you go as blood rushes up to your nose. Your brain is fried. You can't think straight. Your fucking head starts to inflate. Your brain implodes. It's quite distressing, but now it's time for Tell Me in Wrestling.
Very good.
Do you reckon?
I like that. I like you had the little round and round. That's I can't remember what it's called now. It's like
no idea, mate.
Do you know what my favourite bit?
Go on.
My favourite bit was the profanity that you used really punctuated the.
It did, didn't it?
The sentence, yeah.
I had it without. Didn't think it worked. I did fucking it, and then I was like, "That's a winner."
sometimes it just works. I know that we swear quite a lot, and sometimes it's completely unnecessary. But that was a good example of how you should use it.
It works, right?
Shut the fuck up, Dan.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you with the whole poem thing.
Yeah.
I'm fucking good at it. Like I am good at poems. This is top stuff.
There needs
in
to
the
be
poem
a book.
world.
Yeah, we need to put a book out. Well, eventually after there's more than like 12.
Right. I'm just throwing something out there, and tell me if I'm crazy. All right, just tell me if I'm crazy, and I won't ever mention it again. But apart from Lanny Poffo, the genius Lanny Poffo, has anyone written more wrestling poems than me in this world?
In this world,
that's a good question.
I mean, how many? I must be on like what 12 now.
We'll have to put
I've been hammering these poems for a few weeks now.
Right. So there's Lanny Poffo.
Yeah, we did loads. I said apart from him.
More than 12.
And
then the next lowest person is you with possibly 12.
Listen, when did I'm
Max
looking
Caster,
through now?
Does that count?
No, they're raps. They're not poems. Fucking hell, Dan. Get your head on straight, mate.
Same thing.
When did we come back? Episode 29. We're now on 45. 40, whatever the fuck we're on. I don't know. Who cares?
47.
I mean, that's a decent amount of poems, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's no Lanny Poffo. That must be pretty up there in terms of amount of wrestling poems in the world.
So you're classing yourself as
maybe I'm the number 2 wrestling poet in the world ever. He's dead. I'm number 1. I'm number 1 wrestling poet in the
world. Okay, you are the wrestling poet laureate. That's how we're going to have to introduce you going forward.
God, I want a delivery of steel chairs.
We're going to have to use that as like proper marketing stuff. Like you've overtaken Lanny Poffo.
Yeah. Has he got any living family members that might come after us? I don't think he does he?
I know.
Elizabeth's dead. Randy's dead. He's dead. Who else is going to come?
It's
me. This is it. I'm carrying on his legacy. That's what I'm doing.
That's what you're doing. You're carrying on the legacy of Lanny Poffo.
What happens if you have to wrestle? What we're going to do about that?
Well, I'll die. I don't want to wrestle. I'll be murdered. I don't want to wrestle, am I? I'll write a poem about it, but I'm not going to do it.
So we have to make sure that we're constantly just... We'll have enough beef with people to get us like involved.
Yeah, then run away. Write a poem. I'll write a poem. I'll run away. That's fine. I'm not going to get in the ring.
No. Because the thing that I'm most scared about here is you two will be faster than I will be. I will be left.
Yeah. Especially after I kick you in the fucking shin while I'm running around.
You got to take him. Feed wolves.
All right, I might have to.
They slam you and just milk just flies out of your nipples as you hit the ground, like a pyro.
And you're there, just like round and round it goes. Oh dear.
I accidentally kill a few lactose.
Number one wrestling poet in the world.
There we go.
I mean, listen, listeners, write in. Okay, tell. What's his podcast called?
Tell me in creative.
Tell me in wrestling@gmail.com. Tell me if there is a fucking another wrestling poet out there that's done more than me, because I'll get on the tools and write way more than
I'll write loads more just so I can overcome it. Okay.
What if no one wants to come and try and claim the crown off you? If you are unchallenged?
I'll wear it proudly every single day and talk about it incessantly, like I'm doing now.
Like now.
Okay. Do we want to? Should we do what we did last time, and we'll come up with a subject matter at the end?
Oh yeah. Tell me at the end.
Yeah.
But let's remember to do it.
Let's remember. Yeah. I think I know what I maybe want it to be about, but
tell me now then.
I think it's just you being the wrestling poet laureate. A self-flagellating.
Yeah, that would be quite fun. Yeah.
Poem.
You can write it about yourself and make it as self-aggrandizing as possible.
I mean, that's not going to be really that hard for him, is it? Really?
I knew he was going to say that. You're a fucker. For some reason, you think that I've got an inflated ego. I don't know where you get it from.
You literally just spent 10 minutes saying you're the greatest poet in the world.
No, I didn't. I said I'm the number one wrestling poet based on just workload. I'm not saying that they're like. There might be one geezer who's written the best wrestling poem ever, but he's only written one. I'm saying quantity over quality.
So you're just
I'm the number
churning
one
it out
wrestling poet. Every week, mate, I'm churning them out, aren't I? Yeah, a couple of you say I, but that doesn't matter, does it?
So is this sort of like the Mills and Boone of poetry?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
It's sort of like those like smutty romance novels that
you're just constantly churning them out like a Hallmark movie.
My poems are they're the rest.
Yeah, that's probably a better example, like
romance
Hallmark films. Yeah, like Christmas films.
There
we go.
Probably closer to just low budget porn, I guess. Especially based on some of my language.
Sci-fi channel.
Yeah. Have we got money? Show me the money, Dan.
We don't know.
We don't know.
We don't. Okay.
I'm
the only one again bringing something to the table.
I mean,
unbelievable.
we could have done, but I can't. I can't. No, I used it.
No, I don't have a wiki either.
I just dive headfirst into the news.
Right, should we go into the main event? If you two are slacking.
Well, it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event.
What are we talking about? I've forgotten. Oh, news.
Yeah, we're going to go through some wrestling news. We had originally...
listen, this is breaking news.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is
hot
off the press.
I feel like we'd be able to have said it's hot off the press if the printing press had literally just been invented.
Yeah.
Because
we are, at the time of recording, about 3 weeks removed from the majority of this news.
It's 4:20 today, actually.
Oh yeah, brah. 4:20, brah. Yeah.
There was
that's why I've got my sunglasses on.
Yeah, clearly. So, the biggest news of, this is like news this is April news, I suppose, isn't it? A lot tends to happen in the wrestling world in April with WrestleMania and whatnot. But the big news this month is not WrestleMania. It is the fact that WWE was sold for a cool $9.3 billion and is set to merge with the UFC and become a sports entertainment juggernaut. What do we think on it?
$21 billion sports business juggernaut.
Is that how much
Vince's mustache was funny?
That's how much it's worth together. Yeah. Right, Dan. Let's have a little chat about the news. But what the important thing to really dive into in this episode is the state of that fucking geezer. If you could find, Dan, a before and after while we're having a little chat here, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of VKM, did you say?
Yeah. Who, by the way,
what's he done to himself?
Well, you'll fucking see. I think you have seen, but you'll see the before and after makes it worth it. Phil, Vince McMahon, he's going to earn $2.5 billion from this sale. Apparently,
that's an insane amount of money.
And there's that comparison, isn't there, where he invested $1 million at the start, and then
that's exactly Dan what I have got written down.
Yeah.
Right next. So obviously, Phil, he bought the WWF at the time from his dad for $1 million years and years and years ago, and he has basically recouping 9,000 times that initial investment. That is not a bad 9,000. Not a bad return, that is it.
But what do you think about the actual merger, Carl? Like,
I could not give a flying fuck about it. I think we'll see what happens. I think what I love, and I've made this very clear throughout this journey of this podcast, is that I don't really give a fuck about what happens in the ring, work rate, blah, blah, blah. I want to hear about the drama. That's all I care about, the backstage drama. And what this whole thing has meant that Vince is now firmly back in charge of everything, and therefore more drama can happen. He went away, Triple H got in charge of creative. It was all happy families. Everyone was loving it. Oh, the product improved. The ratings improved. Give me Vince back, destroying it from the inside out. That's what I fucking want, and that's what we've got. So happy fucking days to Carlos.
It's a weird sort of turn of events that a man who didn't he get fired for?
Well, he left for sexual misconduct and misappropriating company funds.
And the punishment for those things is
$2.9 billion.
Yeah. So we've got him getting nearly $3 billion, and we had Will Smith assaulting someone and then get given an Oscar.
Yeah. I mean, Phil, it's worth saying that the way he did this was by a complete hostile takeover of the board to get back in and then say, listen, everyone, don't be alarmed. I'm just here to sell the company and then I'll be on my way. I'm just going to sell it, make a lot of money, and then I'll be gone. And actually, it turns out he did sell the company. yet he's now in charge of the WWE half of the merger.
Yeah.
So sold it, made a lot of money, and is in charge of it.
Absolute 100% stooge. Have you seen the state of one of the guys who was his stooge?
Yeah.
The guy with a humongous... He's got a...
Dan, what do you think on all this?
It was just bare American business politics, isn't it? Just presented in the wrestling world. Like these sort of things happen all the time, where somebody gets ousted out, but then they come in and they bring stooges in place, and then there's a merger that actually grants that person shitloads of power, and you don't really sort of hear about the chess pieces moving on the table so much when it's like AOL Time Warner, which coincidentally is a merger that actually affected wrestling back
Let's stay on track
in 99. But yeah, so those sort of stories you don't hear about. Oh, so and so got booted out, but then they're actually still a majority shareholder. They've brought these guys onto the board to then give themselves power. This is exactly what Vince McMahon. You could see the writing was on the wall. Despite the fact that he was going to the press or like the press were being told, "Oh no, he's just coming back to facilitate a sale." But the reality is, well, why has he brought these three people back onto the board? Because that doesn't look like he wants to facilitate a sale. He wants to. Oh wait. And the only interested parties were pro Vince McMahon, so it was like the Saudis were the one of them, and everyone was like, "Oh, if the Saudis take over, they'll."
You mean the potential people who were looking up potential suitors to buy it,
to buy it, yeah. And then, UFC just kind of came out of nowhere, really. But his best mate, Endeavor, came out of nowhere. And
I think Nick Khan used to work for Endeavor, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when you say it's the UFC, like I don't really know anything about it.
A few years ago,
particularly.
So basically, Endeavor is run by a guy called Ari Emanuel, who is based on.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm about to fucking tell you who it is. So remember the show Entourage that we used to watch?
Yeah,
Ari Gold. So Ari Emanuel is based. Ari Gold is based on Ari Emanuel in real life, and he runs. It started out as a talent agency, and it has now developed into a kind of media. Kind of conglomerate, and it owns like talent. It's a talent agency still. It owns media rights. It owns all kinds of things, and it bought the UFC a few years ago now for I think it was $6 billion at the time, and it was seen as like a huge thing. And what's happened with the UFC? It's kind of ticked along. Some things have got better, some things have got worse, in my opinion, because I am a MMA fan on the side. And then now they have bought WWE as well for however much it was, $9 billion, and are merging UFC and WWE into one listed company that will go on the stock exchange and be run. So Ari Emanuel will run it, and then Vince McMahon is in charge of. He's like the kind of overall person, and then you have Nick Khan and Dana White on each side of the aisle with WWE and UFC. And also, a fun little fact: the ticker listing on the stock exchange is going to be TKO, which I thought was quite cute.
Is it? Oh, really?
Yeah. Apparently.
Is that what
TKO.
They're calling it? What does that stand for then? Is that Titan kicking out? I don't know.
I guess so.
No.
I mean, because that technical was knockout. But yeah, Titan Towers, Titan Sports.
I don't know what so that's the actual. That's the name
ticker of the company. Yeah.
Of the company. The new.
That's what I heard. That's what I read. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to sort of really quantify what it's going to look like long
what it will
term.
lead to.
Yeah, because the purchase of UFC, some things got better, some things got worse. There's more news coming out over the last couple of days from Nick Khan, isn't there, where they're thinking
cost
about
cutting.
Cost cutting is the latest one, which was today. Then
every company that is acquired or merges looks at cost cutting. That is just what happens. Usually you don't I always say it's like 2 year, and then you start to feel everyone has felt it by then.
Well,
but I think that will be more focused on office staff and stuff like that than talent.
Well, if you look at the two biggest mergers in corporate history, you look at AOL Time Warner, and that I've mentioned earlier directly was linked to the failure of WCW, like wrestling. So AOL Time Warner merged.
When was that? Was that in the 90s?
Like 98, 99. And
Yeah, it sounds.
there was a lot of money being spent
familiar
on WCW. A lot of money being spent. And AOL Time Warner merged, and obviously the new corporate entity that it became then started looking through the books and going, why are we spending all this money on wrestling? And it's not actually feeding us back as much money as we thought it was because the numbers were dwindling because it was thinking.
Oh, I fucking know that feeling doing this.
I know, yeah.
Sack it off. And then
we just need a billionaire like Ted Turner who just likes likes us.
Just liked, yeah.
Like WCW.
Well, if they hear this story of me, my exploding nipples or whatever it is,
exactly.
we were saying, maybe
I want to see that. I want to put that on pay-per-view.
Maybe I can get as a sugar daddy.
Depends what they're into, I suppose. But yeah, you never know.
The other merger.
There's a coffee.com/TMIW.
Yeah.
There you go. The other merger
was the first time we've ever promoted that.
I know, yeah.
Nearly 50 episodes. Sorry,
Linktree.com/TMIW. Just doing them all in one go.
The link will be in the podcast description wherever you're viewing or listening to this.
Yeah.
Go on, Dan. Finish your thoughts.
Point.
All right, never mind.
Twitter.com. No, it was the Discovery merger as well. So again, that when they merged and they bought Warner Brothers, and again, what was the first thing they did is they got rid of a lot of films, and they even cancelled Batgirl. They made a film and they wrote it off like it was such. So these are the things. So Nick Khan coming out and saying there's going to be cost cutting. People are like, because they just immediately look at the roster and go, oh my God. And because, again, as Carl mentioned, it's the drama about it all. Everyone's going to be really interested. And it's
that's not news,
reality.
Though. That's not news to me at all. It's like, by the way, there's going to be cost cutting. Yeah. So someone just spent $9.3 billion on this. Of course there's going to be fucking cost cutting.
Exactly.
Why are we shocked? There is no, of course it's...
Because it's wrestling, isn't it? They're kind of like, well...
But then people think, oh, that means that Roman Reigns is going to get fired or his salary is going to get reduced. No, it doesn't. It means the poor fuckers in the back who slave over making catering or editing the videos, they're the ones who are going to get shafted, not fucking the head of the table.
No, it'll be...
Anyway, we've got this picture of Vince or what?
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Yes. So if I share my screen...
So this is Vinny. What's he had done to him again? You said
something. Oh, mate, I'd love to know. Fucking hell. Jesus. That's the age-old question.
So
here we go.
Have you got before and after?
Yeah, so this is Vince McMahon's... this is an image of him from WrestleMania last year. So this was one of his last appearances.
Wow, how old is he there?
Oh, he's like 60, isn't he?
I am going to confidently say that I am never going to look that...
No, he must be like 70.
72 or something.
I am never going to look that ripped in my entire life.
I'll tell you, he is. He's 77 years old.
77?
How is he still
He's just going? I mean, his testicles must be something else because they must be
4 hours sleep and stuff like that. I don't understand.
Yeah.
So this was one of his last...
Right, okay, let's just put this out there. He's clearly had a lot of work done, right, in his face and stuff. But he looks still relatively normal to what he used to look like. You remember that face from when I was a kid. I'm like, oh yeah, I can put it together. He's had a bit of work done. Looks a bit plasticky, but that's him. Yeah.
When it didn't look so great in this image, which is where he was getting stunned. But yeah. So that was one of his...
Find like an attitude error, Vince.
Okay, so if I just typed in Vince McMahon here, so
I tell you what, I've missed our levels of organisation.
Oh yeah, this is
this is just what everybody wants to see and what everybody wants to hear.
Well,
vamping.
This is what's on the Rogan podcast, isn't it? Hey, forget about that picture.
Pull that up, Jamie.
Pull that up. Yeah. So there you go. There's an image of Vinnie Mac.
Looking, that's the last time he looked normal, I would say. And you've seen him look a bit plasticky there. Look at the fucking state of him now, Phil.
There we go. Right, and
what is going on?
So that was him announcing the WWE UFC deal on Bloomberg, I think it was.
Is he trying to become like a Frank Sinatra?
Right.
Person?
Do you know what?
Describe this man right fucking now, please.
What do you see?
He's got what I can only describe, and I hope this isn't an insulting word, but is a spiv mustache, sort of like a.
I haven't heard the word spiv in such a long time.
Like an old timey gangster.
Yeah,
Oh,
but a
God.
spiv's a reference
Do
to
you know what I
somebody in
mean?
World War II, isn't it? Who was cashing in on
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know why that made me laugh so much. God.
Sort
Would
of.
have bought some eggs.
Yeah, like he should just always
He-
have like
he-
like a fag just constantly on the go out the
He
corner of
looks
his
like
mouth. He's selling you knockoff shit from out the back of his van or a suitcase. Del Boy, basically, is what we're going for.
you see, I think he looks like a Mexican drug cartel leader.
It's the white
Like
suit
this.
as well, yeah.
It's the white suit, it's the slick back hair, and this
It's
fucking weird
the dyed
pencil.
hair, the dyed
it's
eyebrows,
the
and the dyed
dyed
moustache.
hair.
It's insane, isn't it?
If you had shown me that picture and said you have to guess who it is, this we'd just be ongoing forever. I would never guess it.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Not reminds me of, but it almost looks like Vince McMahon has gone, oh, I need to be a bit incognito here. I'm going to wear a disguise. And he's just like dyed his hair and put like one of those fake mustaches on. And then he's gone to the shops.
Do you know what I think? I think this is
Slightly changed. He's gone for a slightly different accent. He's gone just generic, like European.
Yeah.
So you can't really quite place him.
Do you remember when Boris Johnson came out and started talking about making toy buses out of crates of
get the Google results away
to
from
the Google
NHS
results?
bus. Yeah,
Not talking about the Brexit bus. I think he's done something similar here. That he comes out and he looks so. It's the wrestling thing. It's like thingy, but he comes out looking so ridiculous that the press is just going to talk about his appearance much, and it'll push the other stories.
Listen, mate, I love a conspiracy theory, but I kind of think that the whole merger and the billions of pounds he earned probably would be above that anyway.
But it's to stop him asking, because this is his one of his first public appearances since him having to retire, because he came back to WWE, but he was in a backstage role, so there was no front of house and no public.
That may be true. I don't think it is. I think what is true is that he looks in the mirror and he goes, "Yeah, look decent. Look good."
Don't know why he looks. Sounds like
good. God damn it!
It's good shit.
How it sounds.
See, no, I think he's changed now. I think he's more like, "Oh, darling, how you doing? Do you want to?"
It's mad, isn't it? I mean,
it is.
The man has not had facial hair in 40 years, and then probably longer. Then suddenly he sells his company, and then he rocks up like that. Imagine that you've worked with him for decades and decades, and he goes away, and then next time you see him, he's like that. You'd be like, "You having a late life crisis or something? What the fuck's going on?"
Is it the equivalent of Dan getting his hair transplant?
Maybe, yeah.
It's
or maybe
me getting my arm tattooed like a.
Here's one. Is it because most people who have like a midlife crisis, they buy like stupid shit and they buy like fast cars and stuff they can't afford and whatever? He can buy all that. Like, it doesn't matter to him. So he's like, what else can I do? I need to do something.
What do you get the man who has everything?
I'm just going to make myself look ridiculous as possible.
And nobody will say anything to his face.
Like, I realize he's changed his appearance a bit, but if you're gonna do that, then you've got to go like proper, like bifurcated tongue or horns.
He's changed his entire race, mate. What are you on about? He's changed it a bit.
That was one of the big talking points after the.
Tries to go to the next subject.
Do you know who I think he looks like? Bearing in mind that I don't think there is a picture of this person, but I'm just going to say to you, the man from Del Monte, and then just look at him.
Yeah.
He looks like he has like an orange grove or something.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Mediterranean, wearing linen suits and chilling out.
He's almost got a bit of Professor Clouseau kind of deal going on.
Does he look like a tit? So
there's been a big merger.
Big merger.
Yeah.
But
do you think all the other news programs covered it like that?
Like that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
When was the last time there was like a merger like this in wrestling?
WCW,
has there ever been one?
It was probably the AOL Time Warner.
That one.
Well,
so it's been within our lifetime, but it's still a while ago, like 25 years.
That's probably the closest equivalent. Yeah.
But that was WCW was owned by a TV channel, and obviously the TV channel was then owned by another company, and the companies that owned all of them merged, and then they looked through the books and was like, get that off our books. Whereas, Ring of Honor being purchased by AEW, maybe. the merger of that. That's on a much smaller scale recently. But yeah, nothing. This is corporate kind of world folding into the wrestling world, but the knock-on effect of it, I'm not entirely sure what it'll look like. Because obviously nothing's.
They're just going to carry on as normal.
We're not going to see anything really until June, July when the actual merger really kicks in. But the interesting tidbit, because when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, it's no longer going to be public. But the fact that the new company that's formed between UFC and WWE is going to be public. Kind of, I think a lot of people thought you take it away from it being public, there's not going to be as many shareholders getting involved in it, and that seemed to be one of the downfall of WWE creatively when it was floated on the stock market and it became public, because it had more shareholders to appease to. And the same thing's going to happen again now, but you've also got another company ahead of that, and then there's going to be like square pegs, round holes. It could be interesting in like there's going to be cross promotional.
I don't think they'll do that.
You don't think they'll?
I don't really see how you can converge the two worlds, because one of them is. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I'm just going to say it very quietly. But one of them is actually fake and made up.
What?
Yeah, UFC's completely fake, isn't it? Like,
it's all scripted,
right. Yeah, it's made up fighting.
I can see certain things happening. So, and I'm going to tell you what they are. I can see things like Daniel Cormier, who former champion in UFC, loves wrestling. Can see him making kind of more appearances. He's a retired wrestler. He's a retired fighter now, but he commentates. I can see like McGregor maybe making appearances, but it'll be appearances. It won't be anything beyond that, I don't think. You'll get people in the crowd.
Yeah, I don't think WWE will compete with UFC anymore on pay-per-views. Not that they ever did directly compete.
They never did.
They
UFC never does pay-per-views on a Sunday.
No, but when WWE now do Saturday pay-per-views, don't they?
Occasionally, yeah, but yeah.
So
I mean, I can very, very. Do you know what may happen? There's one for you, Daniel. What may happen is they may do, in our favorite destination of Saudi Arabia, do double header events.
Yeah,
that's what I could see happening. That's about as far as I can see.
I think there'll be I thought I was going to say combat events. I think the network will cease to be what it is, and it'll merge with the UFC, and they'll be creative.
So you can have like all of it going on at once.
Yeah, but in America they've got the whole
UFC Fight Pass, haven't they?
But
they're on Peacock.
Maybe they can create like a worldwide.
I used to have Fight Pass. It's nowhere near as good as the network.
Yeah, the network was based off of Major League Baseball's technology, isn't it?
Yeah.
In America, the network doesn't exist anymore. It's on Peacock, which everyone's
that's what I just meant. Like that's why I don't think they'll ever.
It depends on how long that contract's for.
Die. I think it'll just die out in. They'll basically just do something similar everywhere else, I think.
What do you mean it'll slowly die out?
Like, so the network exists in the UK currently, but not in America.
Yeah.
I think it will follow suit with what's happening in America, where the actual network as an entity will die out, but it will just go on to another platform.
In different countries, they'll just put the
like a BT Sports platform or whatever and stuff like that over time. But I guess
that's interesting as well, because BT Sports now going to be TNT Sports in the UK.
Yeah, which has the rights to Dynamite in America.
So
we shall see.
An interesting one.
Speaking of AEW,
Iowa, yes.
Listen, lads, Tony Khan, our mate, owns Craven Cottage in the UK, and he went, "That place is shit. I don't care about that. I want to fill 80,000 people in a big old stadium in London. I'm booking Wembley." And that's what he did.
He did. Well, just a caveat, not to shit on the thingy. He would not be able to run an event like that at Craven Cottage. They've tried
said
to
this
run
before,
baskets.
but I think they've tried a way.
They've tried to do. They can't get the rights.
They'd find a way, wouldn't they?
I don't know the people who live around Craven Cottage.
I don't think that is the reason. I don't think you.
No, that's not the reason why he hasn't done
the thing we own. Shall we just put Wembley instead?
Yeah, he'll have spent a long time, but yeah, just to sort of
Who owns
they've tried
Wembley?
the FA.
Oh right, okay.
That's why the semi-finals are all being
it's not
hosted
his
there. That's
dad
why
or
so
anything,
many
or-
games are
His
hosted.
dad's
at...
tried to buy Wembley.
Oh yeah,
that's
actually,
what
yeah. I was going to
that's what
say,
I
yeah.
think I'm getting confused with. His
Yeah.
dad did try
Yeah,
to buy it.
they
at
did
one
try
His
point.
and
dad tried to
Wembley.
buy
It was up
it
for
and then
sale.
tried to have the Jacksonville Jaguars located in the UK as opposed to
Yeah.
Florida.
Yes,
my daddy only bought me Craven Cottage for my birthday. I really wanted Wembley.
I only get to borrow it for August bank holiday.
Mm. So the main
So, yeah.
question, this is the news, and the main question around this news is, will they fill Wembley?
I
The capacity is
think
what, 80,000?
they will.
I think it's around that, yeah.
It depends on what your classes fill.
Well, that's Phil. Sat
That's
opposite
Phil.
us.
Yeah.
Well, will they sell?
So
Will
The
they sell
capacity.
more than 80% of the seats there?
Yes.
Because everyone is either saying
Yeah,
that this is going to be a massive success or a abysmal failure. So which one do we think?
I think it's going to be a
basically?
massive success. So there's stories coming out every. Well, I think it was like over the course of like 4 days. Wrestling Observer Weekly posted out saying that it was like 30,000 or 25,000.
Yeah, I saw
pre-booking.
40,000.
I saw
45,000.
I saw
Did
50. Yeah, that's what I mean. Over the course of like bang bang bang, every time I read,
So
like,
Phil, this is people who've signed up for pre-sale.
Pre-sale.
So
there's not even
that
going to be a
doesn't
normal
surprise
sale.
Did you say again?
There's not even going to be able to be a normal sale with the amount of people that are on the pre-sale.
But
Yeah.
what I would say there is 45,000 people have signed up. I think that means fuck all. So I know 3 people have signed up. Me, Dan, and my missus, 3 people. Yeah. But obviously we'll buy those tickets, but it's not those 3 people buying tickets.
Yeah.
So obviously we'll see. But
then there's on the other side of that, there'll be
there's
like one person who's buying like 8 somebody. One person buying 8 tickets.
So it could. Yeah.
But I think they'll get 60,000. Which is well, I mean, that's what they have. That's what they had at WrestleMania. Granted, they fluffed up the number and said there was 80,000 there when there really wasn't 80,000 there. There was like I think there was about 65,000 in total in the stadium. But they bullshit the number.
You mean? But that's America.
Recent
that's a whole other thing, right? Because that's A, it's WWE. B, it's the biggest event of the year, and they make a whole fucking thing of it. AEW is coming in cold. Yeah, they're on ITV, but the ratings aren't amazing.
I mean, it's not on ITV. I would not. It's buried at 11:30 on a Friday night, and if you're an actual AEW fan, you've already seen it because
exactly. So, but what I would say to that as well is that the ITV ratings don't mean anything because I think there's a shitload of people signed up to Fight TV who are watching AEW, as you just said, in the week. The other factor here is that imagine the amount of European fans who are going to travel to watch this live. Yeah. I think it's going to be a massive success. I'm just throwing it out there. It would not shock me if this sold out. And I think anyone who's saying that it's going to do like 20,000 people and it's going to be a disaster, I think they're absolutely out of their minds.
If they had it in a smaller stadium, then you wouldn't get the people going, oh, well, it's actually big enough for me to go. There's the chance of me getting tickets.
Exactly.
If it was small, like because there's Wembley Stadium, and there's Wembley Arena, isn't there?
Yeah. Right. Here's the funny thing.
I've been to Wembley Arena with Carl before.
Yeah. So when they announced this, I initially thought that they had fucked up and said Wembley Stadium by mistake, and that they meant Wembley Arena. Yeah. And then when all the graphics came out, I was like, they actually are doing Wembley Stadium. That is insane. Like,
I thought different because it was like he said stadium so many. He got Adam Cole in because it's clearly like
but
he
that's
couldn't
what
say
I thought. Because I was like, oh, they've just got him in. They've said, oh, we're playing Wembley. He's just googled stadium, right? And then,
but it was like the way he said Wembley Stadium, like, and then he goes, "We're celebrating 100 years of Wembley Stadium. It's going to be at Wembley Stadium, London, Wembley Stadium." And it's like, yeah, do you know what? They're definitely playing the stadium there. They've got Adam Cole in to make sure that that Tony Khan doesn't go.
Why does he bring him in to make his announcement?
Because he can't say anything without going on like that.
Because only dogs can sort of hear the pitch that he speaks at. It just looks as though he's just
listen,
not saying anything.
I've got a big announcement to make.
Yeah, how can you take that seriously? I can now go potty all by myself. No, this is I can tie my shoelaces.
Genuinely, right though.
Yeah.
I don't care how squeaky his voice is. The bollocks on him
to
do this.
Well, they'll have
absolute bollocks on them to do this.
Data to warrant, because what people are throwing at them is the fact that they go to Corpus Christi and they're only doing a 4,000 seat arena.
That's completely different though, because that's also like they could go there next week and 2 weeks after that. This is a one-off.
That's it. That's the thing. People seem to forget. Like, people go see, like, wrestling fans will go and watch those shitty live events, or they'll go and watch Raw knowing how shit it is, and they'll sell out the O2.
Blackpool, and we saw nobody.
WWE sold out. I mean, granted, it was still like what 1,500, 2,000 seater venue.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
for
the first
nobody
thing they did, the UK. It was like
because it was WWE. And it was just
it was like a new-ish thing.
So you went just because of the WWE name, and there wasn't anyone there who was.
And for the Blackpool Rock, obviously.
Exactly. But it was the fact that
I mean the treat, not a version of the Rock the wrestler in Blackpool.
Can you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Yes, I can. You're booked for Wembley.
Do you reckon we could try and sell Dan as like Lancastrian Rock?
Lancastrian Rock. Blackpool Rock.
Blackpool Rock. Yeah.
Something smells funky around here. Yeah. Shit up beer.
Well, is that instead of can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Shit up beer.
Exactly. Yeah, what I love is the discourse around it as well. There's a load of British wrestling fans going, "Oh, I can't wait for him to stick on a load of British wrestlers on the show." It's like, absolutely not.
Who gives a fuck?
And then on the flip side of that, people are going, "No." However, if you are going to do a proper wrestling show, you need to have a raffle halfway through the and you have to have the wrestlers all stood next to the ring, all awkwardly trying to flog their gear while nobody makes eye contact with them during the intermission.
And half of them go outside for a fag.
Exactly. And you sat there chatting to them, goes, "Oh, when are you on in the main event?" "Oh, I'm going to do a surprise entrance." Yeah. But
I genuinely, I think it's going to be a massive success. I can't wait to. I've never been more excited about a show before.
Definitely have the numbers from. Either it's probably not the I mean, I think ITV was still doing pretty good numbers considering.
It does do good numbers.
Considering, I'm like, how? But it's the ITVX stuff as well. But then all the Fight TV numbers will have the demos from what the people who subscribe to it in the UK. Because I was subscribed to it for quite a while, actually, to be honest.
Yeah,
and
I also have heard that because they're part of the NFL and all that stuff, and basically like his connections, he probably got an absolute deal on renting Wembley for the night of the day.
Yeah.
So that probably factors in as well.
Do you reckon he got like a Groupon?
Yeah, he got a Groupon for Wembley, yeah.
Daddy was going to buy you.
He turned up and he was like, "I've got a voucher. Can
I buy one, get one free with the drugs?
Could I get one Wembley, please?"
Say it again. We'll do like a proper little... Can I have one Wembley?
Can I have one Wembley, please?
Let's have a look. Oh, it says this expires today.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. My daddy said that I could book Wembley.
Okay, let me just go check with my manager. Dan, you can be the manager.
All right, I'm Northern Rock.
This
is sorry, business.
Sorry, Mr. Blackpool Rock. Just come with you with his voucher. Is it still technically valid? Because there appears to be. It says,
Wembley, please, Mr. Rock.
It says
bloody Tony
it says it can only be used by people aged 18 years and over, and this strange little child is trying to use it.
I'm over 30 years old. I run 3 companies, and I'm a very rich boy.
Well,
what we're going to do?
Let him have it. Don't know why everything is in my Blackpool accent is always.
Your Blackpool accent. Let him have it.
Here we go.
Yay!
But we've got to have a raffle at intermission.
Right, we've got a strong 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Last subject. Speaking of Wembley, is Mr. CM Punk coming back, and will he be making an appearance, do we think?
Well, I mean, I don't even think that's the question now, innit? Because haven't they come out and they've told the broadcasters and gone, yes, he is.
What I've read is that they're going to make an entire new TV show for him to be on, so that they don't have to interact.
Carl,
with
just
each
explain to Phil like a very brief discourse around CM Punk, and then what's happened after this. Phil, this is incredible.
Yeah, so I know he's been sort of like persona non.
Yeah, he's persona non grata because he had a punch up with the Elite,
someone's dog,
Kenny Omega. His dog was in there. And then
that's the only detail I remember is that there was a dog
bit
involved.
Someone, but the dog didn't get bit, which is weird. The weird aspect of it. It was all a lot of issues. They all went away. The Elite have now come back into the fold. CM Punk has been injured in that time, so he has not yet returned. But there's been a lot of talk around. He's a cancer to the locker room. He's not coming back. Chris Jericho's piping up every 5 minutes, chucking his 2p in. And now it seems that he's going to be coming back. He's going to be given his own TV. They're going to split the brand in half so that there's a new TV show on a Saturday that CM Punk is the kind of focal point of, with other people, obviously. And his returning feud is going to be with Chris Jericho, apparently.
But
it's all set up quite beautifully, isn't it?
There's like pro CM Punk and anti CM Punk.
Yeah, there's like
they're going right.
It's a locker room divided.
So it's
they're literally splitting their
amp
roster
up a little bit. Like there's a bit more interest.
Can I just say something? I think this was real when it started. I think
they squashed the beef months ago.
I think this was sorted out ages ago, and I think on our hands right now we have the best storyline of all time happening, and I think it is all going to come to a brilliant crescendo at Wembley Stadium.
Do you reckon it'll be Wembley? Because it's all in, and then like 3 days later, it's all out, isn't it?
Yeah, but Wembley's going to be a bigger show
in Chicago. Yeah, I suppose there's more seats to sell, isn't there? They can sell. They can sell Chicago. Is it the All-State? They can sell.
And that's also not confirmed. That was just one of the wrestlers said that. I think. Right. Anthony Bowens, I think, said that. It might be, but they're
definitely doing All Out. Like not almost, but straight after, but soon.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I've only seen that from an Anthony Bowens tweet. Yeah. Nowhere else confirmed it.
Fair.
But anyway, I still think that the Wembley thing is going to be their biggest show of the year, and therefore
they'll build
blow off to the feud. So it could be like the Elite against CM Punk and FTR, or it could be like CM Punk against Kenny Omega. But either way, I think what we're seeing now are the kind of seeds being sown for that storyline to continue all through the summer. And I am absolutely fucking here for it.
Well, they've killed Kenny splitting off from, because that was a story. There was a storyline like after the Elite came back, they came back and they re-won their trios title. They defended the trios titles for a couple of weeks, and then what they did is they were sort of seeding this storyline of Kenny leaving them and going, "I'm going back to being a singles wrestler," and then and that was the whole point of them kind of going, "Okay, we're off to do our own individual thing now." But I think because Punk isn't fit enough to come back just yet, they've maybe gone, "Oh, we need to get them back together again, or keep them together for a while."
Mm-hmm.
To then go into this next feud as the Elite.
It's going to be so fucking good.
And then that's what this Bullet Club one.
Okay, so he's returning.
Blackpool.
Yeah, he's definitely returning.
Here's
another question for you: how long after he returns before he either pisses someone off to
do we even get to, because he's coming back in July
or he gets injured.
He's coming back in.
Immediately.
Isn't it like 19th of June or something? That's what they're saying. The Chicago
Is
show.
it Chicago? Yeah. I don't know.
So they're saying that's the Chicago show, and then like 2 or
Does
3
he
weeks
make it to
later,
Wembley?
does he make it
Either-
to Wembley?
Can he manage to not piss anyone off by then, or can his body hold together by then?
Yeah.
Also, I think it's absolutely bizarre that they're looking at building a TV show around a guy that has now been long-term injured 3 times.
Notoriously.
in the
But didn't he
space of
come
like a
back too
year.
quickly or something? Was that not the reason? Or oh no,
That's
did
what
he
he
come back
said.
and then break his foot? Or was
Yeah.
it the foot that he broke and then came back too early?
He broke his foot like twice, didn't he? Basically, he's
broken,
got brittler bones than Phil, it would seem at
Yeah.
this point. So I don't think, that's why I think he's going to be in.
I apparently lose a lot of calcium.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, does he make it to? Does he make it to Wembley?
One way or another. Imagine if they put in all this groundwork for a feud, and it's shaping up to be one of the best things ever.
They will.
And he gets fucking injured.
They will if they do it. Oh no, I don't know. I suppose because he said, didn't he? I will not put my body through the line for another company. I was going to say, are they going to bloody Weekend at Bernie's him and just tape him to FTR? And
Well, that wouldn't be that bad, I suppose, because at least then he can do
It can
little
be-
work.
yeah.
I think the issue with the other one was it was just 1-on-1, wasn't it?
We could always put forward the world's #1 wrestling poet.
Exactly.
I'd do a slot at Wembley.
Would you?
Poem.
Would you
Come
know?
on.
I'd open.
If they asked
You'd
you.
open the show.
You know, like WrestleMania starts with like America the Beautiful. You
Yeah.
could start
Carl going,
all
swing,
in can
swing,
start with,
swing around.
round and round and round you go. It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, All In can start with a little Carlos poem.
That's what we'll have to do that before ahead of the All In. Carl has to-
Let's petition for it.
So
Yeah.
in between the matches, when maybe there's not so much going on, we can just play the podcast to them, to the audience. Yeah,
Exactly, and then Carl can then stand at the end of the ring and try and flog the Tell Me
It's
Wrestling.
like when they do a multi-camera TV show and they have like a comedian come out in between them before to kind of hype up the
doing the
crowd.
warm-up.
Yeah, it's like that.
Gonna be doing that. Tony, can we go ahead and do that?
Absolutely.
Definitely, he's the best poet going.
You sound. He's like a mixture of Mickey Mouse and then I don't know, a bit of Marilyn Monroe in there. Something.
It is my Mickey Mouse impression, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, are we allowed to be saying that?
It's my Tony Khan impression. It's
there we go.
entirely original Tony Khan impression.
we'll just go from one fucking
Fuck that mouse
company that's worth billions, and then we'll just insult another one instead.
Is Tony Khan worth more than Disney?
Oh, I can't imagine that he is.
No.
I bet it's not fucking far off.
Depends on what area of Disney.
Oh, let's not go into this.
Let's not go
right at the end because we'll,
The last bit of
we'll be
news.
for ages.
Is that it for news? Or we got any thought anymore? This was there's shitloads of other stuff that's been happening, but anything else?
But I can't be able to talk about any of it.
Yeah.
That'll do, I reckon, because we're at an hour and I'm
an hour and a bit. Yeah,
bored.
Right. Well, we'll be back. Again.
All right. That's it from your favorite wrestling podcast.
With the Blackpool Rock. Shit up here.
but for this week, we're all milked out.